Every morning, before the first cup of coffee is poured and before the rush hour traffic reaches its peak, millions of people step into the streets of America's biggest cities. They hurry toward office buildings, train stations, schools, and shops, rarely looking beyond the sidewalks in front of them. Yet, just above their heads, another world is already wide awake. A world filled with silent observers, clever opportunists, and skilled survivors. For these creatures, every rooftop is valuable real estate. Every traffic light is a lookout tower. Every crowded sidewalk is a potential source of food. This is a hidden city that most people never notice. A city ruled not by humans alone, but by birds. While people design these concrete landscapes for themselves, some bird species quietly transform them into thriving habitats. They learn to navigate busy streets, recognize human behavior, exploit new food sources, and even outsmart dangers that never existed in nature. Today, pigeons, crows, sparrows, hawks, and many other birds have become permanent residents of America's urban centers. But how did they achieve something that countless other animals could not? How did they turn one of the harshest environments on Earth into a place where they could thrive? And what can these remarkable survivors teach us about intelligence, adaptation, and resilience? The answers reveal one of nature's most fascinating success stories. Chapter 1. The city as a new forest. To us, a city is made of buildings, highways, parking garages, glass towers, and endless streets. To a bird, however, the same landscape tells a completely different story. A skyscraper isn't simply a building. It's a towering cliff. A bridge isn't just a way for cars to cross a river. It's a sheltered nesting site protected from many predators. Streetlights become artificial trees where birds can rest while watching everything below. City parks become miniature forests.
Parking lots become open feeding grounds where food is surprisingly easy to find. Birds don't judge an environment by whether it looks natural. They judge it by one simple question. Can I survive here? For many species, the answer turned out to be yes. Perhaps the greatest example is the pigeon. Long before cities existed, the ancestors of modern pigeons lived on rocky sea cliffs throughout Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. They built nests on narrow ledges, sheltered from predators and high above the ground. When humans began constructing tall stone buildings, churches, bridges, and eventually massive skyscrapers, pigeons encountered something strangely familiar: artificial cliffs. Instead of resisting human expansion, they embraced it. Every new city became another mountain range. Every apartment building became another nesting colony. As humans spread across continents, pigeons followed. Today they live in nearly every major American city, often in numbers that surprise scientists. What seems like an unlikely habitat to us feels perfectly natural to them. Their incredible success reminds us that survival often depends less on where you live and more on how you see your surroundings. Sometimes the greatest opportunity hides inside what others consider an obstacle. Chapter 2. The Masters of Adaptation. If pigeons mastered city architecture, crows mastered city intelligence. Among all urban birds, few species have earned as much respect from scientists as the American crow. Their problem-solving abilities are so advanced that researchers often compare them to some primates.
One of their most astonishing behaviors can be seen at busy intersections. A crow carrying a hard walnut flies over a road filled with moving cars. Instead of eating it immediately, the bird carefully drops the nut onto the pavement. Moments later, passing vehicles crush the shell, but the crow doesn't rush into traffic. It waits. Patiently, it watches the traffic lights. When the signal turns red and the cars stop, the crow calmly flies down, retrieves the exposed nut, and leaves before traffic begins moving again. This isn't random luck. It demonstrates planning, patience, and an understanding of cause and effect. Researchers have also discovered that crows recognize individual human faces. If someone captures, harms, or repeatedly disturbs a crow, that face may be remembered for years. Even more astonishing, the crow can warn others. Young birds learn which humans should be avoided. Entire groups begin reacting to the same person, even if they have never met them before. Knowledge spreads from one generation to the next. In many ways, crows build something similar to culture. The city didn't magically make crows more intelligent. Instead, urban life rewarded birds that could think creatively, solve problems, and adapt quickly to changing situations. Every challenge became another opportunity to learn. And with every generation, those lessons helped crows become some of the most successful urban animals on Earth. Their story is proof that intelligence is not measured by the size of a creature, but by its ability to adapt when the world changes.
Chapter 3. Surviving the Concrete Jungle. Living in a city may seem easy for birds from a distance. Food appears to be everywhere. Buildings offer countless places to perch, and there are few large wild predators. But the reality is far more challenging. Every day is filled with dangers. Fast-moving vehicles claim countless birds each year. Glass skyscrapers reflect the sky so perfectly that birds mistake them for open air, leading to deadly collisions. Construction projects constantly remove nesting sites, while pollution affects the quality of the air and water they depend on. Unlike forests, cities are constantly changing. A safe nesting spot one season may disappear the next. A reliable food source can vanish overnight. To survive in such an unpredictable world, birds have developed extraordinary flexibility. Scientists have discovered that many urban birds begin their daily routines earlier than birds living in rural areas. Before the streets become crowded and noisy, they search for food, gather nesting materials, and communicate with one another. Some species have even changed the way they sing. In forests, birds use soft, melodic songs that travel easily through trees. But cities are filled with engines, construction equipment, sirens, airplanes, and thousands of human voices. To compete with this constant noise, many birds now sing louder, faster, and at higher frequencies. These higher-pitched songs cut through the background noise more effectively, allowing mates and rivals to hear them.
Imagine having to change the way you speak simply because your neighborhood became too loud. That is exactly what many city birds have done. Generation after generation, these small adjustments have helped them thrive where other animals struggle. Chapter 4. The Night Shift. For millions of years, birds relied on one simple rhythm. The sun rose. The day began. The sun set. The world grew quiet. But cities changed that ancient pattern forever. Streetlights illuminate roads all night. Office buildings glow long after employees have gone home. Digital billboards, stadium lights, and brightly lit neighborhoods have turned darkness into a permanent twilight. For many birds, this created entirely new opportunities. Some species continue searching for food long after sunset because artificial light allows them to see insects, seeds, and scraps that would normally be hidden in darkness. Others begin singing long before dawn because city lights trick their biological clocks into believing morning has already arrived. This extra time can provide a valuable advantage. More feeding, more territory, more chances to attract a mate. But every advantage comes with a price. Artificial light also confuses migrating birds that navigate using the stars and the moon. Instead of following natural routes, some become trapped circling brightly lit buildings for hours, wasting precious energy. Others collide with illuminated skyscrapers during their long migrations. Even birds that successfully adapt may experience disrupted sleep, increased stress, and changes in breeding cycles. Yet despite these challenges, many urban birds continue to adjust. Nature rarely rewards perfection. It rewards flexibility. And once again, birds demonstrate an incredible ability to find opportunity in environments humans never intended for wildlife. Chapter 5. The Unexpected Predators. When most people picture city birds, they imagine pigeons gathered in public squares or sparrows hopping along sidewalks. Few realize that some of nature's most skilled hunters also call these cities home. High above the streets, hidden among steel and glass, birds of prey silently patrol the skyline. Peregrine falcons, red-tailed hawks, Cooper's hawks, and even great horned owls have successfully established territories in many American cities. To these predators, urban areas are filled with opportunity. Pigeons gather in enormous flocks. Rodents thrive around buildings and restaurants. Small birds feed in parks and gardens. Where prey becomes abundant, hunters are never far behind. Skyscrapers have become the modern equivalent of towering cliffs, giving falcons perfect nesting locations hundreds of feet above the ground. From these lofty perches, they scan the streets below with astonishing eyesight. Then, without warning, they dive. A peregrine falcon can reach speeds of more than 200 miles per hour during its hunting dive, making it the fastest animal on Earth. Within seconds, the hunt is over. Meanwhile, hawks quietly circle above neighborhoods, while owls emerge after dark, using their exceptional hearing to locate prey hidden beneath bushes, rooftops, or alleyways. Together, these predators help maintain balance within the urban ecosystem by controlling populations of pigeons, rodents, and other small animals. Their presence reminds us that cities are not separate from nature. They are living ecosystems filled with complex relationships between predators and prey, competition and cooperation, survival and adaptation. Even in the heart of a bustling metropolis, the ancient laws of nature continue to unfold every single day. Chapter 6. The Human Connection. Perhaps the most fascinating part of urban bird life is this. Their survival is deeply connected to us. Whether we realize it or not, humans influence the daily lives of city birds in countless ways. Every overflowing trash bin, every outdoor cafe, every backyard bird feeder, every city park planted with trees. Even the timing of garbage collection or the lunch rush at a busy restaurant can shape where birds gather and when they search for food. Over time, many species have learned to recognize these patterns. Some pigeons know exactly when commuters are most likely to drop crumbs at train stations. Crows have been observed watching people crack open nuts or shellfish, waiting for the perfect moment to collect the leftovers. In some neighborhoods, birds even learn which people regularly feed them and which ones should be avoided. To them, humans are more than neighbors. We are part of the landscape, part of the food chain, part of the environment they have learned to understand. This relationship is constantly evolving. As our cities change, birds continue changing with them. They observe us just as much as we observe them. And in many cases, they may understand our daily routines better than we realize. Chapter 7. Lessons from Survivors. The story of urban birds is about much more than feathers and flight. It is a story of resilience, of intelligence, of adaptation. Throughout history, countless species have faced dramatic environmental changes. Some survived, others disappeared forever. The difference was often not strength or size. It was the ability to adapt. Birds remind us that success rarely belongs to the biggest or the strongest. It belongs to those who can learn, adjust, and keep moving forward when the world around them changes. Every skyscraper, they turned into a nesting cliff. Every noisy street, they learned to navigate. Every new food source they discovered represents another chapter in one of nature's greatest survival stories. Their lives show us that change does not always have to be feared. Sometimes, change creates opportunities that never existed before. For millions of years, evolution has rewarded flexibility. And nowhere is that lesson more visible than the birds soaring above our cities every day. Conclusion. The next time you walk through a busy American city, pause for just a moment. Look beyond the traffic. Look beyond the crowds. Look up. Notice the pigeons resting along the edges of towering buildings. The sparrows darting through busy parking lots. The crows watching from power lines with curious, intelligent eyes. The hawks circling silently above the skyline. These are not simply common birds. They are master survivors. They have transformed one of humanity's greatest creations into a thriving ecosystem. They have learned to live alongside millions of people without losing the instincts that allowed their ancestors to survive in the wild. Every day, they solve problems, adapt to new challenges, and seize opportunities hidden within the concrete landscape. Most of us pass by without giving them a second thought, but their story is extraordinary. It is a reminder that intelligence is not limited to humans, that resilience is often quiet, and that nature is far more adaptable than we sometimes imagine. The city may seem like a world built for people, but if you watch carefully, you'll discover that it also belongs to the birds. Because in the end, the future doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who can adapt. And few creatures have mastered that lesson better than the birds that secretly conquered America's biggest cities. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more fascinating stories about bird intelligence, animal behavior, wildlife science, and the hidden survival strategies shaping the natural world. And now we'd love to hear from you. Which city bird amazes you the most? Crows, pigeons, hawks, sparrows, or another species? Share your thoughts or your own bird encounters in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.